You just met someone. They looked you in the eye and told you their name. 3 seconds later, it was gone. Not because you're bad with names, not because your memory failed, but because your mind quietly decided this person wasn't important enough to remember. And that decision was not conscious. You look someone in the eye, you smile, you shake their hand. Everything seems normal. And then, just a few seconds later, you realize something unsettling. You don't remember their name, not even a fragment of it. It's gone, completely erased. Like your brain skipped a frame. You're still smiling, still nodding, still pretending everything is fine. But inside, there's panic. You replay the moment in your head. You search for the sound of their name. Nothing. Just silence. Here's the part nobody tells you. You're not stupid. You're not rude. You're not broken. And you're definitely not losing your memory. What just happened wasn't a mistake. It was a psychological response. Your mind didn't fail you. It protected you. We like to think of memory as storage, like a hard drive that randomly glitches. But that's not how the human mind works. Your memory is selective. It filters. It decides. Think of it as a gatekeeper. Not everything is allowed in. And sometimes, names don't make the cut. When you meet someone new, something subtle happens. You put on a mask. The polite mask. The confident mask. The socially acceptable version of you. Inside your head, a silent checklist starts running. Am I standing right? Am I smiling too much? Do I look awkward? What should I say next? You're not really focused on the other person. You're focused on your performance. Your mental energy is being used to manage how you're perceived. So when your brain has to choose between maintaining social safety or storing a random piece of information, it chooses safety every time. That's why the name never lands. A name is abstract. It has no emotion, no urgency, no survival value. Your brain doesn't care about labels. It cares about meaning. That's why you can remember a song you haven't heard in years, a random embarrassing moment from childhood, the face of someone you passed once, but not a name you heard 5 seconds ago. Memory follows emotion. No emotion, no memory. Notice something interesting. You almost never forget the name of someone you're attracted to, someone who intimidates you, someone who has power or influence. Why? Because emotional charge brands the memory. But polite, neutral, forgettable encounters, your mind quietly marks them as irrelevant and lets them fade. Some people struggle with names not because they're careless, but because they're too perceptive. They don't remember labels. They remember essence. They remember how someone felt, the tension in their voice, the sadness behind their smile, the weight of their presence. A name is just a sound. It tells you nothing about the human standing in front of you. So the mind filters it out and focuses on what feels real. Sometimes forgetting a name isn't neutral. Sometimes it's resistance. If someone triggers jealousy, insecurity, or discomfort, even subtly, your unconscious pulls away. Forgetting their name becomes a quiet rejection, not intentional, not conscious, protective. It's the psyche saying, I don't want to engage with this. Here's another uncomfortable truth. Your brain was not designed for modern social rituals. It wasn't built for networking events, endless introductions, remembering dozens of names. It was built for recognizing faces, detecting threat, reading emotion, understanding roles. Names are a modern convenience. Your primitive mind says, I know who this person is. I don't need the code word. And that conflict creates the glitch. There's also a specific moment when forgetting almost always happens. Right after they say their name, you stop listening. Not because you don't care, but because your inner voice takes over. You start rehearsing what you'll say next. You start monitoring how you're coming across. You start performing. You're not present. And when the ego fills the space, information doesn't stick. For some people, forgetting names becomes a pattern, a form of distance. If you don't name someone, they remain a stranger. And strangers can't hurt you. This is armor. But armor is heavy. It isolates you. It turns the world into a blur, where you feel separate from everything. So, how do you fix this? Not with memory tricks. Not by repeating names 10 times. The solution is presence. The moment you stop trying to impress and start genuinely observing, your memory opens. Here's a simple shift that works especially well for visual thinkers. Don't try to remember the sound of a name. Turn it into an image. If the name is Rose, picture a red flower. If it's Mark, picture a bold check mark. If it means nothing to you, invent something strange and exaggerated. Your unconscious understands images, not words. When you give a name visual weight, your brain treats it as meaningful, and it stays. But there's a deeper level to this. Next time you feel yourself drifting during an introduction, catch it. Admit it internally. I'm pulling away. That moment of honesty breaks the pattern. You can then choose to re-engage. Remembering someone's name becomes more than etiquette. It becomes recognition. You were never bad with names. You were disconnected. And connection changes everything. The world is full of people. Every person carries a story. Every story has a name. Don't let them fade into background noise. If this felt uncomfortably accurate, you're not alone. Let me know. Are you someone who remembers faces but forgets names? Or names but not faces? And if you know someone who never remembers names, send this video to them. It might explain more than they expect.